What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dingus, and we are going to review the MCU. I'm going to rank all of them on this tier list. From 1, absolute dog shit, up to 5, goated. And we're going to go phase by phase, so I'm going to split this into parts. It's not a marathon. Relax. We'll do part 1 will be phase 1 and so on. I started rewatching these movies again because of Marvel Rivals, and I thought I'd be bored of it, and I'm not. I actually have been having a good time. Some of these movies I've only seen once. Some I had never seen before this rewatch, so they're fresh in my mind. A perfect time for me to go ahead and give my rankings of them. See if you agree. See if you disagree. There's going to be shit you disagree with, I promise you that. But let's get started. Let's get right into it. Iron Man 1. And by the way, I've got the trailers here so I can just kind of play them for you to look at. And I can look at them and kind of jog my memory or whatever. Please don't nuke me into copyright oblivion, Marvel. They're just trailers. Anyways, Iron Man 1 is a good movie. I think it's a really good introduction to the MCU. I think, obviously, Tony Stark's incredible, and Robert Downey Jr. is incredible. And he adds such, I don't know, charisma, like such an infectious charisma to the role right off rip. And he really is the heart of the MCU. We can go into that a little more later in the rewatch when we talk about why the MCU is currently faltering and struggling to find its footing again. I don't think there's a heart, but we'll go into that. Ironically, Tony Stark with the artificial heart kind of thing going on in his chest, but I digress on that. The movie itself, it's good. It's corny. I'll say that. It's very fucking cheesy at times. It definitely hasn't aged incredibly in terms of some of the quips and the jokes, but he's charming. He's witty. And I think it really establishes a good tone for the MCU. I think this was a slam dunk. It had to be, right? At the time. This is what kicked off the MCU, and if it was a total fucking flop, the MCU would have been dead on arrival. But it wasn't. It was lit, dude. Cool action scenes, cool guy. I think Tony Stark hard carries this, obviously. And obviously there's that really good scene with, what's his fucking name? Obadiah Stone or whatever? Or I don't know, whatever the fuck the villain's name is. Tony Stark built this in a cave. That's a good scene. That's hilarious. Otherwise, he's a pretty forgettable villain. But, like I said, it's just a great introduction. It gets a strong 4 out of 5 from me. We're starting off strong here. They won't all be winners. But that one is. Let's see if I can make these a little bigger. Sorry, I'm pretty new to this site, to be honest with you. I don't know. Fuck it. Not important. Anyways, you can probably see it all right. Iron Man 1 sits nicely at a 4 out of 5 for now. Moving on to, let's see what's next in the order. I don't think there's a ton of movies in these first few phases. In fact, phase 1 is incredibly short, so this should be a pretty brief video. But number 2, oh god, number 2 is The Incredible Hulk. Oh my god, dude. This movie, ew, it is not good. Not by a long shot. Let's see if I can find the poster. There he is. He goes right into absolute dog shit, folks, and I'll tell you the fuck why. All right? Fucking Hulk, dude. Dude, this movie is so boring. It's so boring. It's so bland. The action is so lame. It's ugly. It's poorly shot. It just feels like a 2000s movie in the worst fucking way. God, like, imagine if you took, like, the Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and you took all the sauce away from those movies. That's what this shit feels like. Edward Norton has the charisma of a fucking wet blanket, dude. It just, going from Iron Man to this is such insane whiplash that Marvel should be paying me out fucking settlement money for my neck surgery. It's insane going from Tony Stark to this fucking dude. Edward Norton is a fucking drag, dude. Then we've had this guy on the screen right now, fucking Abomination as the villain. You know, he's actually pretty cool. Out of all the things in this movie for me to take issue with, he's not really one of them. It's goofy at the end, just traditional, like, kaiju fucking fight. That part's not bad. Liv Tyler does her fucking best. She's actually one of the only good parts of the humans in this movie. The general's insufferable, the fucking weird guy, I don't know, who ends up being important later in the MCU. I forget his name, like the guy with the huge brain or whatever. He's annoying as shit. But more than anything, it's just, dude, Edward Norton is just a fucking horrendous lead. And that's not always the case. That's Edward Norton, right? He's a complete stud in a lot of movies. This isn't one of them, dude. I don't know what they were thinking. this movie was a fucking disaster. This is a 1 out of 5. Strong 1 out of 5. I stand by that. There's people I talk to that love this movie. Like, what the fuck are these people smoking, dude? This movie is a drag. Holy shit. You might disagree with me. I told you there was going to be shit you'd disagree with, and this already might be divisive. I know a lot of people love Hulk. I'm not one of them, dude. This movie just is a fucking complete snoozer, man. I thought it was boring. I thought it was lame. And especially because it doesn't end up mattering ever, really. So, boo. Fucking lame. On we go. What's the next movie? It's Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2. We're going to put him. This is not my final ranking for him, mind you, when I put these things up here. It's just me getting it on the board. Oh, boy, where are you? Iron Man 2. There you are. Okay. Iron Man 2, I got to remember. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is incredible. This is another one that's going to be very divisive. I think Iron Man 2 is an incredible movie. I'm not messing with you. I'm not messing with you. I think it's incredible. I think it's just like one of those movies that kind of has the most... I'm going to speed this up just a little. We're going to speed this up to like 1.1, so it kind of is schmooving a little. Maybe a little less. I don't know. Anyways, this movie just has the sauce, dude. It feels the most like a MCU movie. This is where shit starts, you know, they start introducing what they do best. Black Widow's in this movie. It's the first time you get like a new hero introduced in one of the mainline films. And it's like, oh, you know what? She's fucking mysterious. Also, just a side note, Black Widow is never more awesome than she is in this movie. When she's still like a super sexy, mysterious like assassin femme fatale. She totally goes away from that as the MCU goes on. But in this movie, she's so badass and mysterious. I love War Machine in this. I love the like fight scene at their house when like Daft Punk's playing and he's like, "Yo, Alexa, play me shit to beat my boy's ass to." That shit was fucking awesome, dude. It's just a comic book ass movie. Him fighting War Machine was fucking cool. Sam Rockwell's character is funny. This fucking douche on the screen that was there for a second, he's funny as hell. I think Whiplash is a huge like fart, dude. Like, not interesting in the slightest. You know, fair enough there. But yeah, like the Black Widow shit combined with just the cool stuff going on with Tony and War Machine, and then Shield coming into the picture and having a big part in this movie. I don't know. I just had a really good time watching it. It's not that I like, you know, I want to also just say as we go on in these reviews, like, first of all, sorry in advance if I don't like one of your movies that you like a lot, or if you think one that I like is terrible. That's all fine and dandy. I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm just trying to come at it with like my reaction after watching them recently, and for some fucking reason I just had an awesome time with Iron Man 2, dude. It's just a super fun movie. Like that scene right there, this shit is so lit. Look at this. Are you fucking kidding? This is fucking sick, dude. How can you not like that? So this is gonna fucking piss some people off, maybe, but Iron Man 2 is my first 5 out of 5. It's goated, dude. It's a goated movie. If that movie was on, I'd sit down and I'd fucking watch it and I'd have a good time. It's just a fun movie, man. It's a great Marvel movie. Okay. There's only 3 left. We're halfway through. Let's see. Next is Thor. Oh, boy. Okay. Thor, I gotta be honest, I don't know where this is gonna settle. I'm gonna drag him up here. These are not in order down here, which is kind of annoying. I'm gonna put him, like, in the middle for now as we rate him. Thor. Okay, where do I begin with this? Okay, so, let me get a sip of water here. I'm about to go on a fucking spiel. Like, I haven't been doing that the whole time, right? H2O. So, I think Thor is the Marvel character that benefits the most from his character development later in the Infinity Saga. What do I mean by that? I mean that Thor in this movie, and Loki in this movie, all the Asgardians really, Heimdall in this movie, all the characters in Thor are elevated in this movie upon rewatching it because we know what happens to them later, and we've seen how their characters develop as they go on. So it's actually really cool to go back to this point in time and see how they began and see how they started getting their powers and like started getting, you know, their kind of heroic nature to them. I don't know, I just really thought that was cool. I also remember the New Mexico shit in this movie sucking ass. And it pretty much does, but it's also such a small part of the movie. It's easy to forget that, like, only 30 minutes of this movie, it feels like, we're actually in New Mexico. It might be a little more than that, but it's like a very small part of the movie where he's actually in New Mexico, like, doing shit. So, you know, I actually quite liked it. I liked seeing Thor and S.H.I.E.L.D., like, dealing with his hammer. I like seeing Thor be, like, this arrogant douchebag. I loved seeing Loki, right? Loki's so fucking cool in the MCU, and this movie's no different. And it's cool to see his origins, where he's like, you know, starting off being a schemer off rip, but you also see a lot of his, like, childhood bonding with Thor. I don't know, I thought it was really good. Oh, hang on, let me pause this shit. We're not there yet, god damn it. Trailer compilation. Thor, let's see. I think in hindsight, I'm going to give it a... do I want to give it a 4 or do I want to give it a 3? Is it just all right or is it actually good? It's a tough call there. I think it's going to stay in good for me, genuinely. I don't know, I had a good time with this movie. It's cool seeing him fucking try to get his hammer back. It's cool seeing him cast out of Asgard. It's just cool seeing their origins. I think this is a really important movie, too, for fully understanding Thor and, like, Loki and their arcs and shit. So, yeah, I'm going to put it in 4 out of 5. That's just my off-the-cuff reaction. Okay, 2 movies left. Let's see. Captain America, obviously, because the trailers just showed us. It's kind of nice to have that, actually, and kind of lead us in. Captain America. This is not going to be a popular ranking for me. I might get a lot of flack for this one. You know, I'm willing to stand by it. I don't think this movie is that good. Now, I don't think it's bad. Okay? Don't twist my words. I don't think this is a bad movie. I just don't think it's that good. I think that Steve Rogers is not very interesting. Now, you know, again, before you come at me with the pitchforks, I don't think he's a bad hero. I think he's a great hero. I think he's a very heroic dude. I think seeing him in the Avengers movies especially is awesome. I just think him in his own movie and his origins is just kind of boring in terms of his personality. Like, he's such a good guy that there's not really ever any drama in these movies until, you know, the later films where outside forces start impacting him. But, like, this movie, it's like, you know, it's just, like, super good man doing good things, but yoked. Now, Red Skull is cool, right? Seeing Howard Stark is cool. There's a lot of, like, important lore groundwork that's laid in this film. And when I actually rewatched these, I did it in a different order than we're reviewing them here. I did them in chronological order. So this is the first movie I started with in the MCU, and it was a bit of a weak start. You know, it's just not as good as Iron Man. It's not as flashy, it's not as cool, it's not as charismatic, and it's not as charming. You know, so I think this sits squarely for me in a 3 at most. It's just all right. I don't think it's mid as fuck. But do I? Do I, though? No, I don't. I think it's all right. I think it's an all right movie. I do. It's been a little bit too. Sorry, these rankings will get a little smoother as we get closer to where I am in the rewatch. This is just the first one I started with, so it's been a while now. It's been, you know, fucking weeks and hours of movies watched since. I think it was all right though. It is a good movie. It's just like not as good as Iron Man and not as compelling, but it's important. Definitely important to like the lore of these characters too and the Avengers. So yeah, I'm gonna stick it in 3 out of 5. All right, last movie, guys. It's here. It's time. It's time for the Avengers. Oh man, the first Avengers movie. Okay, this is another one that's kind of tricky. I have mixed feelings about this. Where are you, Avengers 1? There you are. Bam. Can put you up here for now. Let's see where he settles. Oh, the Avengers. Let's see. This movie is not super great now, given everything that's come after it. But we have to take it. I do think we have to take it as a product of its time a little bit. This is the first time they had all the heroes together. They were trying to juggle screen time between all of them. They're trying to deal with their relationships with each other. And I think it does all that shit really fucking well. I think that Loki is a pretty bad villain here. There's no motivation for what he's doing. There's no, like... And, like, the whole Thanos thing, he technically gets introduced here with, like, the Chitauri or whatever the fuck they are. You know, his, like, alien forces and Loki are being sent to Earth. It's just so out of the fucking blue, dude. Like, there's no setup for that. And in the beginning of the movie, you get, like, 30 seconds of incredibly jarring exposition that's like, oh, by the way, Loki is going to fucking Earth and he's got the Chitauri alien forces with him and he has a Tesseract fucking cube made of immense power and he's gonna fucking use it to fucking, you know, fuck shit up. Actually, he has the scepter, whatever the fuck. And so it's like, okay, sure. It's just a very shitty, like, setup and, like, excuse to have cool shit happen. Now, it's not me saying the movie's bad. It's just that, like, I don't know if we needed all that. Wow, this is a short-ass trailer. We're going to slow it down a little bit just for... and run it back. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just... I don't think it's super compelling nowadays. I think the coolest parts of all the Avengers movies have always been the interactions between the heroes. I think that remains true to this day. I think that's true about every Marvel movie, really. But this one especially, those parts of it fucking rock. But the action, it's pretty lame. It's not that cool. The whole battle for New York is, like, neat at times, but ultimately kind of just visual flair and eye candy filler shit. You know, the Iron Man sacrifice, quote-unquote, at the end is cool. S.H.I.E.L.D. is cool. Agent Coulson's death is great, and how that pulls them together, and how Sam Jackson uses Nick Fury. I don't know why I fucking called him Sam. Like, he's my boy, dude. Like, I can call him up. No, Nick Fury, when he takes out the cards, like the blood-stained cards, and he's like, these were in Phil's pocket, and he throws them at him. And then you find out that they weren't in his pocket at all. He just planted those, like, right now to, like, get them to come together. That's genius, dude. It shows how Nick's willing to be manipulative. It sets up future movies. Like, that kind of shit is very good. The character work in this movie is good. And the quips are good, too. The quips are funny. I like the quips. I think this is the movie where, like, Iron Man walks in and he points at some dude and he's like, that guy's playing Galaga. That's funny, dude. This movie is firing on all cylinders with MCU humor and heart, but the action's just a little lacking. So for me, this gets a 4 out of 5. Purely carried by the performances and the character work. So this is where we stand, guys, at the end of Phase 1. That wraps up Phase 1. We got it done in about 20 minutes. That's not too bad. Again, these might get a little quicker as we go because they'll be fresher in my mind. But they also might take longer because this is the shortest phase we have. Everything from here on out is either the same or much longer than this. And generally speaking, much longer. I don't even want to think about how long Phase 4 is going to be when we do that. But we're not there yet. Fortunately, we have Phase 2 coming next. And that'll come out shortly after this video does. And in fact, they're probably all going to come out in about the same, few hours. The first 3 phases, at least. I want to release those as kind of a bundle. The Infinity Saga bundle, if you will. So this is where we are right now. I reserve the right to maybe change my view on these over time, but this was my initial reaction and where I think they should go after watching them for the first time in a long time again. Or, in some cases, for the first time ever. Like, I didn't specify, but Hulk, just for shits and giggles, I'll go through all of them. Iron Man, I had never seen since the original time I saw it. Same with Iron Man 2. Same with Thor. Same with Avengers. Same with Captain America. Actually, I believe I might have seen Captain America twice before this rewatch, but that's, and then Hulk, I had never seen before. So, for me to say that's dog shit after having never seen it means it's dog shit, dude. It's not hard to, entertain me. So, that's where we are with that. All right, stay tuned. Phase 2 will be coming shortly. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with these takes? Do you disagree? Do you think I should be locked up for thinking Iron Man 2 is a 5 out of 5 movie? You might. A lot of my friends do, but hey, man, that's just me. I'm not going to pretend to, go with the flow if I don't really fuck with something. And likewise, if I think something's awesome, I don't really care if it's, critically panned. I'm going to put it up there. So, let me know. But stay tuned. Thanks for checking this out. If you're interested, check out the rest of these parts. They're coming soon. Phase 2, Phase 3 coming up. This is Dingus signing out.